I think the job of being a teacher is so rewarding in so many ways.
The connection between you and the whole class, that's still unbeatable.
When my pupils are successful, it feels incredible.
I think the greatest thing for me is seeing the pupils that I teach love the subject as much as I do.
I don't think there's any other job where you get the same satisfaction.
That's why I chose to teach.
You could get £26,000 tax-free to train. Search Apply to Teach. Selected subjects only, subject to eligibility.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen. Podcasting since 2005. You're listening to Gamertag Radio. With your host, podcaster Hall of Famer Danny Pena, the always opinionated Paris Lilly, and from outside of the norm, Peter Toledo. This is Gamertag Radio.
Here we go.
Welcome to Gamertag Radio, episode 611. This is your host, Danny. And joining me this week, regular co-host of the show, Mr. Pete.
Yo. Happy birthday to the old Salt Factory. He is not on the show this weekend, but we're going to move right along because it doesn't matter. He's not here.
I know. Paris, 43 to you, man. Yes. So, and also happy birthday.
Yes.
Yeah, man. So, Pete, what's going on with you, man? This week, I've been playing a lot of Titanfall.
Agreed.
And a lot of Gears of War 4. So I've been playing that a lot. And we're definitely going to be reviewing Titanfall 2 on this episode.
Yes, we will.
Yeah. Oh, interesting game, man. So head over to gamertagradio.com or play.it/gamertag and listen to our past episodes. And you can also find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and other podcast directories. Make sure to share with your friends and spread the word. That will help us a lot.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, so we're definitely going to be answering some questions later on during this episode. Questions from the listeners. So that's going to be interesting too. And I believe Paris sent us a short audio for fan mail. So we're going to be playing that too.
Word.
All right, so Pete, so let's talk about Titanfall 2, man. When we received the first game back, 2 years ago or so?
Yep.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. We had a blast, especially in the multiplayer. Single player, not so much from the first one. Now, with the release of Titanfall 2, this is a game changer, man. The campaign is crazy unique and different compared to the first one. This reminds me a lot of Portal, like certain levels, not the whole campaign. But I'm loving it big time, and I gotta give major props to Respawn for creating this campaign totally different than the first one, which I like it a lot, man. You know, the first one was lacking big time. And the reason why I say that is because you could even stand there and not even play anything, and you'll finish the campaign from the first game like nothing, you know. But this one is very challenging, a lot of puzzles, story's pretty cool, and at the end of the game, I really care about your Titan that you start from the beginning of the game. You know, the first level, I think it started a little bit slow, but once you get the Titan, that's it. It's a lot of fun from there.
You have to take that into consideration that they have to essentially bring over people or acclimate people to what Titanfall is. You have to get the wall running, you have to get the jumping, you have to get the sliding, because those are all critical components of the game. Those are required movements for not just a single player, but it also somewhat prepares you for multiplayer as well. So you got to make sure that you're comfortable with the pilot before they introduce you to the Titan itself. So a lot of that first level is getting you used to, you know, how to do the double jumps. And even to this day, and the invisibility, the double jump is probably the most important part that you have to master moving into later parts in the game. Simply because if you're coming from a game like Destiny, and it's not a comparison, but when you're coming over from a game like that and you can do essentially a double or a potential triple jump at any point of your jump, that's a feature functionality in Destiny that I had to literally break on myself out of my habits, because I know that you can jump and then literally at any other time you could press B again and jump again, right? Not so much in Titanfall. You have to time your jump while you're still in the incline. If you try to do it while you're in the decline, it's not going to work and you're going to fall to your death. And I can't tell you how many times I failed specific parts of, like, either whether it was a platform event or just, the natural progression of the game of how you had to move and jump fails because of that. So those are all components of the game that you need to master to successfully beat the game, so that's why they had to do it slow. But moving on from that, like you said, once you jump into the Titan, there's really not a lot of movement things that you have to master or perfect, because you're essentially, it's the same thing. You've got the main fire weapon, you've got your alternate fire weapons, and then you've got your super, which I guess you can call it a super, but it's your special move or whatever. The one thing that I do wish is, like, they show how some of the mechs under control of the pilot can do like these spins and turns and thrusts with their sword or with their weapon, but the one that you get doesn't have that feature, even though he does it with the other pilot. I don't know if you
I know what you're talking about. I think you could do that with the multiplayer, but not the campaign. I think it's because how the Titan is designed compared to the ones that you see on the multiplayer.
Interesting.
I think it's because of that, but that's just me.
But other than that, I've been loving this single player campaign. I know some people have been, there's two people in my job that I actually spoke to, and I convinced them to buy Titanfall 2 just based on what I had played from a single player, perspective. And I told them that I was like, look, I've only touched the single player, but I love every single component of it. I love that you actually have dialogue with your mech, like we were talking about earlier and in the last show. I love that you build that rapport and that camaraderie with your Titan, whereas in the previous game, in the first installment of Titanfall, it was essentially it was just you and you're going into this big hulking tank with legs, and that's all it was. You were simply piloting a war machine, whereas now, while it's still a Titan, it's got an AI, there's components of it that actually translate to some kind of an emotional link that as the pilot, you actually start to build and grow. It's like a relationship with your Titan. And I think that's fantastic. I love the way they did that, down to like the little thumbs up from everybody. It is a little homage to Star Wars. But I love it. I'm having a major blast with it. I think I'm near the end. I'm not going to say where I'm at. This game has done a complete 180 from what that first iteration, and that's what you want from a developer. You want a developer to see and acknowledge what were their gains, what were their downfalls from their previous iterations, and improve. And I think they did a phenomenal job with this. And kudos to EA. That's 2 in a tight launch window that essentially have been knocked out of the park between Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2. And I think they're doing really strong in this last quarter of the year.
Yeah, definitely. I think that if you do start this campaign, my recommendation to play it in hard difficulty. That's what I did, and I think I made the right decision by doing that, because talking to other people that play the normal campaign, they found it a little bit too easy. I mean, besides the puzzles, but just like the enemies and the bosses that you battle in the game, they found it a little bit too easy. But playing it hard, it was like perfect for me. Perfect. So I finished the whole campaign and I was satisfied. I think it was, and they did a great job, Respawn, man. So shout out to them, man. That's a amazing game, man. So have you tried the multiplayer?
I've
been playing that.
I was supposed to play Thursday, but for whatever reason, we just were not able to get into a room. Obviously, that was before the official launch of the game, so maybe it was just due to not enough people in the servers. And then this weekend, I've just been really, really busy. We actually recorded this morning late because I had to be on set for a commercial shoot that I was working on. But it's something we can do if you want. We can jump on afterwards. So I can't really speak on the multiplayer. So if you want to talk about that, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, it's fine. I really like the multiplayer, man. It's great that there's more Titans now that you could choose now compared to the first one. There's a lot more modes that you could play to, and my favorite by far, and I said this from even during the beta days, I think Bounty Hunt is my favorite one so far.
Okay.
And there is also a mode where you could play 8 versus 8, but it changes the type of game types. So Bounty Hunt would show up. What's the name of the one that it's like kind of like is an attribution?
I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, that's what it's called. That you choose
attrition. Sorry,
attrition. My bad. Yeah, you pick that, and also there's of course capture the flag, and so on. There's another one too that I haven't tried it out yet because I've been hooked with the other modes. Coliseum is 1 versus 1. Interesting. I never tried that one yet.
Okay,
I definitely got to try it out.
Have you? So, what are your thoughts on pilot versus pilot? Have you tried that, or that's not your thing?
I'm not. Honestly, not my thing. And I said that also during the first game. Was it the first game? No. Was it?
Actually, no. You mentioned this during the technical test earlier.
Yeah, the technical test. Not a fan of pilot versus pilot. I think that I feel like it's missing something, and is the Titan. I think having the Titan there in the game makes it different and unique. But if you're trying to be, different, I think you should stay like that instead of adding something that every other shooter has. It's just not my thing. But I honestly, I find it just boring, in my opinion. But but I love the whole running. I find this game a lot fast. Like I find this game really, really fast, and it's very entertaining. I think that if you're a fan of the first one and you think they needed more changes, this is the game for you, man, in my opinion.
Have you tried Amped Hardpoint or Hardpoint itself?
Which one is that one?
That's the one where you got to go collect money from your kills and then you have to go deposit it at the bank.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that Bounty Hunt? That's Bounty Hunt.
Is that the one it is?
Yeah.
Which one is Hardpoint? Oh, Hardpoint is essentially, I guess it's like not really capture the flag, but it's like domination where you have to hold the point and get
that's
more credit.
Okay. That's what I was talking about.
Okay.
I really like that level. Yeah, I really like that mode. So, I think Pete, you're gonna like this, man. Once you start playing the multiplayer, try it out today if you get the chance.
Yeah, for sure. We'll do that after the record. Actually, if you're free, if you ain't got nothing to do, or if you want to, after you're done editing the show, we can definitely jump in.
We could do that. What do
you think of the lack of burn cards? Because remember, burn cards was like the collectible, one-use cards that you could use either with your pilot or Titan for like a 30-second boost to your skill set or a weapon. It's not there. It's not there anymore.
Nah, I don't miss it, to tell the truth.
Okay.
And I really don't really care much about it. I think what they have now is a lot better because what you unlock a lot of other things. You can unlock like you can level up your factions, you can level up your weapons, of course, unlock patches, banners for every time you go online and you kill somebody in the multiplayer, then they'll see like your gamer tag and they'll see the banner that you have, and it's something that represents you. You could choose and change it up. Every time I unlock a new one, I'm always changing it every single time because I just love the designs that they have in there. And also, of course, you unlock new weapons, also pilots, and so on. So it's cool. The thing that I haven't been really using much has been like the faction. And I don't know what's the I think the only difference is that, let's say you choose one faction. When you start the game, in the beginning when they tell you to get ready to jump from the ship, that's what it is. And the character is narrating the whole match for you, saying, okay, your Titan is getting ready and so on, and you guys are losing, you guys are winning, like that. So it's pretty cool. I like it a lot, man.
Cool.
So yeah, so far I have 2 factions so far, and I'm about to lock the 3rd one. So we'll see. It's a lot of fun, man. I mean, now, Pete, what are your recommendations? Do you think people should? I mean, there's a lot of shooters right now that is either already out or coming out in a few days. What do you think? Do you think people will like this game, man? Overall?
I actually think they will. I honestly really I like the fact that although Battlefield 1 is probably going to remain the FPS king of all the shooter type games, you know, between the Call of Duties and Battlefield and this game, I definitely think Titanfall 2 is going to be potentially second place. I don't think Call of Duty is going to have a leg in this. It might just simply based on sales, but I think from a player perspective, I think they'll enjoy or appreciate Titanfall 2 more than Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. I'm just going to say it right now. I don't know. And it might just be franchise fatigue at this point. I like the freshness that Titanfall 2 provides as opposed to the rehashed same old with Call of Duty. I think it wouldn't hurt them to take a break. I know it's going to be hard to do since you've got essentially two developers within the same company at Activision doing year-over-year releases. Yes, they're two separate titles because you've got one from iDub and the other one from, what is it, Visceral or what have you? Or Sledgehammer Games, sorry. I really think, in my personal opinion, that Titanfall 2 is going to be that second place. And I think from a publisher standpoint, I think EA is going to be totally happy with Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2 as their 1 and 2. I think one of the things that I think is going to help Titanfall 2 in that is the fact that you don't have to have DLC as a season pass or what have you. Everything is free from day one. So you're not going to splinter you're not going to fracture your gameplay base. It doesn't matter if you got it on day one or if you got it during Christmas as a gift from Auntie M. You're going to have the same maps. No location or no place or nobody's going to have an advantage on you, or you'll be able to play anything and everything that your friends can play. So I think that's going to help sales and help this game succeed.
All right. So that's a review of Titanfall 2. And for those that are listening, make sure to join our Gamertag Radio Network. You could join in and it's part of the Titanfall game. And if I see you online, I'll try to invite everybody there, man, and we could play together.
Probably wouldn't hurt to try and schedule maybe a game night. That way we could try to link up a bunch of people from the community and play and have a Titanfall 2 night. Maybe,
I'm down.
Maybe that's something we can do on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Party them up. I'd say Destiny, but you don't do that, so.
No. What day or time?
I don't know. Let's talk about that offline, and then maybe pose the question on the next show or via Twitter, and see what the response is. Because I don't want to say a night and then everybody else has plans. You know what I mean? So let's talk about this offline. Let's try and get Paris involved as well.
Okay.
Because I think it'd be fun with that, even though he doesn't want us to tell him what to do.
All right, we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. So yeah, stay tuned. Just make sure to join Gamertag Radio. Just look it up. In Titanfall 2, you find us there. And also, you could find us if you have the Xbox dashboard update, like the preview updates. Just go there to the club section and search for Gamertag Radio. You can find us there. And also, if you have PSN, you can also join the Gamertag Radio community. Just look up Gamertag Radio. We're there too. Play with other members, man. So that's awesome. All right, so before we go to the next topic, Pete, let's talk about our sponsors for this episode. I know we have all taken jobs to earn extra cash back in the days, Pete. I used to be a hip hop promoter. Mm-hmm. I was always out there hustling, passing out flyers in the streets of Miami, South Beach, and all that. It was tough, man. It was tough. I know you used to do the same thing, right? Promoting your parties back in the days?
Yeah, I did party promotion, DJ, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't pay
not
too
easy.
well.
No, and it wasn't easy at all, man. But Pete, there's a better way to earn some extra cash on the side, man. Much easier today, thanks to Uber. Uber is the ultimate side hustle. Driving with Uber is a new way you can earn extra cash whenever you want. It's not just another job. It's a totally flexible way to earn. You can turn on and off just like your car. And if you have a few spare hours here and there, drive with Uber. Have you ever wanted to be your own boss, I bet you make a great boss. Drive with Uber and you are your own boss. If you're driving right now, you should be earning right now. I would do it. Every day is a payday when you drive with Uber because you can cash out at any time with Instant Pay. With access to Instant Pay, cash out earnings up to 5 times a day with no minimum requirement. If you enjoy earning extra cash, if there's something special you would like to buy, like, you know, the PlayStation 4, maybe the new Nintendo Classic Mini that's coming out in a couple of weeks, or you want to save up for the Switch coming out in March, you can start making money right now. So go ahead, get your side hustle on, sign up to Drive with Uber today. Go to uber.com/drive now. That's uber.com/drive now. One more time, uber.com/drive now. And thanks to Uber for sponsoring this week's episode of Gamer Tag Radio.
Welcome to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
All right, so it's time for fan mail.
Fan mail at gamertagradio.com.
Fan mail.
Hello, this is David from Baltimore, Maryland. And once again, I enjoy your show. I got questions to ask. Now, Paris on his Twitter was talking about the sales of Titanfall being released between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Identity Warfare. I think I do agree that the game should have been released in the spring because you know, it's going to be hard to sell Titanfall 2 between those two games, between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty. But I do enjoy Titanfall 2. It's a pretty good game, and the storyline and the multiplayer is good, but sales-wise, it's going to be tough to sell. But I do agree with Paris that it should have been released sometime in the spring, but is EA releasing the next Mass Effect in the springtime or like in fall? Because we don't have a release date for that, but what do you think about that? I enjoy your show very much. Keep on doing the good work. Thanks.
All right, first voicemail from Baltimore. Thank you for the voicemail. Appreciate it. Yeah, I was tweeting yesterday about the rumored, and I want to stress rumored, unnamed EA employee, sales numbers for Titanfall 2. I was simply tweeting about that because if it's true, I hope it's not, trust me, because I really enjoyed Titanfall 2. It's a fantastic game, and it was the next logical leap for this franchise. But I look at where it's releasing at. You're putting it right after Gears of War 4, right after Battlefield 1, and right before Call of Duty. The shooter market this holiday is crowded. And with Titanfall 1 being an Xbox One exclusive at a time when Xbox One sales were very low, the audience is limited. By the time Xbox One started selling more, a lot of people moved on from Titanfall. People weren't going back to it. You know, the community, because I was still checking into it every now and again, the community on Xbox One got pretty low. So, you know, you're opening up Titanfall 2 to basically 75%, maybe that's too high, maybe 65% of the gaming audience by putting it on PlayStation 4. So in a weird way, it's almost like a new IP. That's the way I view it. And to stick it in just the middle of the holiday season is rough. So what I was saying on Twitter is I would have rather seen this game come out in the spring of 2017, which, you know, we had been debating for the longest before the release date was official, because it gives it time to breathe. Like someone even mentioned about Mass Effect coming out probably in March of 2017. That's okay. It's a different genre. It's more RPG sci-fi than it is shooter sci-fi. So I think both of those games could have existed around the same time. Whereas you take a Battlefield 1 and a Call of Duty, Titanfall, those are direct competitors. And like some people were even tweeting that, you know, I only got so much money to go around, so they chose to invest in Call of Duty versus picking up Titanfall 2 and said they'd pick it up later. Now, maybe the sell-through numbers will be fine. You know, this is just a silly rumor, and this is all about nothing. But if it does turn out to be true, and Titanfall 2 does not sell as expected, I think putting it out right now is a mistake. I really do. especially after playing that campaign and seeing how great it is. I think anyone that picks up Titanfall 2, being on Xbox, PlayStation, or PC, they're going to have a fantastic time, and they're going to highly anticipate the next game in the franchise. And my dog agrees too. But thank you for that voicemail. I really appreciate it.
All right, so P, so let's go with I know we talked about, Titanfall 2 and everything, and there's been a rumor going around that the sales might be low.
Oh, I don't
for Titanfall.
It's kind of hard to early. I think it's kind of early to say that the sales are low. I think what we're talking about, or what you're trying to talk about, is analysts projecting that the sales are not going to be as good, or they're going to be disappointing simply based on release schedule. They're thinking that because it's they're releasing Titanfall 2 so close to Battlefield 1's release last week that it's gonna affect the shares. And apparently it caused the shares to dip for EA, which, I mean, that's a sketchy business in and of itself, because it's all based on speculation anyways. But
yeah, I know. And the thing is too, in a couple weeks, actually, is it this week? Call of Duty?
Yeah, I believe so.
The new game comes out
this weekend coming up.
Dude, and that's another thing, man. Like, I mean, if you're a fan of shooters, where are you gonna go? I personally like Titanfall 2 a lot, man. I haven't even had a chance to play the new Battlefield game. It's just not my style of game. To me, I find it like it's too much for me, and I feel that Titanfall 2 is the right game for me. It's a lot of fun. It's different and unique. And the one thing that was worried in the beginning was the campaign, and I'm happy with it. But there's other people that are just comfortable playing games like Battlefield or Call of Duty. So when they see Titanfall 2, they'll be like, I'll pick it up maybe later on. Let me just enjoy the games that I've been playing for a very, very long time. And they're comfortable with those games too.
I remember
there's a lot of PlayStation owners that haven't had a chance to play Titanfall. So this is like a new IP for them.
No,
new game.
Hey, look, I agree with you. I know, like I said earlier in the show, people are going to play what they're comfortable or used to playing or comfortable playing. People are averse to change.
Mm-hmm.
Titanfall, for as great as it is, may be affected by that. People are going to keep gravitating towards Call of Duty because that's what they've played. They've built that relationship with the brand over the last 10 plus years. Some people don't, ascribe to the franchise fatigue. They're just seeing new releases as new releases, so it's not as bad. Me personally, I still don't think it's going to have what it's going to take. Just from a critical standpoint. Financially, it may be different simply based on the amount of people who are going to just naturally gravitate to Call of Duty because that's what they have. But I think from a critical success standpoint, I still think Titanfall 2 is going to be the better one. I can't speak to the actual game yet. It hasn't come out yet. Hopefully it changes my mind. You know what I mean? I would love to see all three titles succeed. Right now, as it stands, it's going to be a little difficult for that to happen.
All right. I know that, like you said, the Call of Duty is coming out right now in a few days and stuff. But here's the thing, too. A lot of people have to realize that there's a long time for this game to actually catch up. We're in October still. November's coming up, and Black Friday's coming up. I think that they released the game in the right time. I think, because now they could sell this game a lot during the holidays. If the game doesn't succeed from now till January 1st, then I'll be like, damn, there's too many games out at the same time. But I think the game is gonna sell. Now, I think we can't just base the game in a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's successful or not. I just don't agree with that.
Do you think the title may succeed more, or would have had a better outlook had it been released maybe end of September, early October? So it could have had a couple of. Let's put this in the same in the same situation as Tomb Raider from a couple years ago, where Paris and I argued with you that we thought that it should have had its own release month.
2 different games.
I understand that, but I'm using that as a sales projection example, right? Mm-hmm. Should Respawn and EA said, you know what? Let's not release them back to back and potentially do like a 2-on-1 against Call of Duty.
I think by EA making this move is because they are the company is really, really confident about both games. So they're just doing it. And look, they haven't done this ever. So they're trying it out. Maybe it's going to work out for them, maybe not. But I think if you don't try it out, how are you going to know if it's going to be successful or not?
No, I get that. But remember, businesses don't typically do the let's wait and see type tactics. Major corporations are going to go for the correct money play, which is why I think, yes, EA said, let's do this as a back-to-back because combined will potentially drown out the Call of Duty sale. But from a Titanfall 2 fan perspective, in order to allow it to succeed more, I think they should have given like a 2 to 3 week head start, or give it 2 to 3 weeks where it's not potentially going up against such a powerhouse like a Battlefield. Maybe launch it October 1st or whatever. Give it, or what is it, September 30th. So if you'd launch September 30th, it would have had 2 to 3 full weeks, or maybe September 26th. Give it 3 solid weeks on its own before you do a Battlefield 1. You know what I mean? Give it time to build up its player base and build up all those people. Maybe they just didn't want to put in the projection against a Battlefield 1 where people were going to hold off the 3 weeks to just play Battlefield 1. I don't know. Again, we're not in the business to we're not in EA's business, so we can't tell you what their thought pattern was behind that launch date. Again, me personally, I think they did it so that they could double up and do a tag team against.
Yeah, that's how I'm about to say, 2 versus 1.
Yeah, it's absolutely, it's a numbers game at that point. If you want to think about it in the pure business perspective, let's just go gangbusters and we'll tag team against Call of Duty to ensure that they have they have the higher price or the higher number of total sales. Just from a Titanfall fan perspective, I think it would have been. I think it's almost a disservice to Titanfall considering how good it plays and how well done the game is as a whole. I think it should have been given a little bit more time. Maybe doing it during the holiday season will help it because it's stuck in that big holiday glut of AAA titles. We have a couple of weeks to see. We'll start seeing the sales projections. The game's only been out officially for 2 days, so let's give it another week or two and start seeing those sales numbers come in, and then we'll have a better idea as to how well it's actually performing.
Hey, what's up, GTR? This is Juan from New York City. So, I own both consoles, and sometimes I'll sway my purchase of a new AAA title or whatnot towards, the console that has the advantages, whether it's a, DLC exclusivity or possibly, the frame rate and gameplay on the console. So I was debating on whether to buy Titanfall 2 on PS4 or Xbox One. And, there's no exclusivity this time around, obviously. And, as I'm looking at sites like Digital Foundry and etc., at this point, 1080p is not an option. And it's basically guaranteed 900p on PS4. 60 frames per second matters, obviously. That's it boils down to the actual gameplay versus, minuscule, difference between 900p and 1080p. But Xbox One is, from what I hear, 720p. And I just can't believe it. Now, we also have to take into consideration possibly the 1S and the Pro. You know, and Respawn has confirmed that the game will have Pro upgradability or whatnot, maybe not 4K native, but I just want to hear your thoughts. Like, it's, you know, we're about 3 years into this console generation, and this game is 720p. I mean, that's honestly on Xbox One. That's unacceptable to me. I just want to hear your thoughts. Obviously, we have 4 different consoles, 2 for both Microsoft and PlayStation to compare the graphics and frame rate to. So let me know.
Second voicemail, and this is from New York, talking about Titanfall 2 being 720p on Xbox One and viewing that as a disappointment. It's 900p on PlayStation 4. You know, we've debated this ad nauseum at this point. Doesn't matter, really. If you're enjoying the game, if it's fun, doesn't matter if it's natively 720p, natively 900p, 1080p, whatever. If you're having fun, doesn't matter. And like you said, you own both consoles. So, you know, go get the PlayStation 4 version if resolution matters that much to you. And then, you know, the Pro's coming out soon, which, you know, I'm curious to see what Titanfall 2 is going to look like on the Pro compared to what I'm seeing currently on the PlayStation 4. But end of the day, you know, look, resolution, graphics, and all that matter to some people it doesn't. I think bottom line, if the game is fun and the gameplay is engaging, should matter, because I know I'm playing Titanfall 2 on the PlayStation 4. It's 900p, and it's not like I'm looking at it thinking about that at any time. Now, I do get making that jump to 4K, you know, visually, you know, fidelity wise, along with HDR can make a difference. But even in that case, it's not that much of a difference that, you know, I'm going to be like, oh, the game's ruined because, you know, it's only natively 1800p and they're upscaling or whatever. It doesn't matter. I mean, have fun with the game. I think that's all I have to say on that. But send it back to the show with Danny and Pete. You know, you guys decided y'all want to record when it's my birthday and I'm doing stuff. So I just wanted to pre-record this, get this out there, and hope you put it on the show. See you guys next episode.
All right, so 720, Pete. I really don't care about that stuff anymore. I think that's I mean, you and Paris play PC, so of course you can graphically it's going to look a lot better. The PC 4K, some games is 4K, some not. But I think I really don't care much about that stuff, because when I play a game, I just play because of the experience. I'm not there counting, you know, if it's 720, if it's 4K or not, if it looks better graphically or what. I'm just playing the game because of the experience overall. You know, I've been playing Titanfall 2 for days now, since last week, and I wasn't even thinking about that at all. What about you, man?
So I'm playing it on PS4 and on Xbox One, so I'm not going to get that 1080p experience. Typically in a game like this, some people may be like, oh, I want the better graphical experience, or if you know, I want the 4K experience. And I know I've said it in the past, graphics do make the experience. I mean, and hell, we talked about this a couple of shows ago with Paris, where if Witcher 3 had not been such a graphical, you know, such a graphical, you know, explosion, would Witcher 3 be as good as it is had it not been so well done from a graphical standpoint, where it takes advantage of 1440 or 4K video and using physics and hairworks and all that? Would it still be as successful a game had it not been for all of that? You throw those things into these games, and you have to consider that. I know earlier in his voicemail, he mentions how he has both consoles and he uses the exclusivity or whatever bonus perks you get from each platform to decide which one he goes to. To be honest, yes, I'm playing it on Xbox One, so I may not be getting as the greatest fidelity or resolution that the game could offer. But like you said, it's done well enough right now where I haven't cared. You know what I mean? So if they are delivering it at 720, not many people can sit there and actually watch the thing and say, oh, that's a 720, blah, blah, blah. The only reason they know is because they saw the video of somebody else showing them, oh, it's only doing 720. Or they saw
a Digital Foundry?
Yeah, they saw a Digital Foundry video, or they saw another video where, oh, this is doing 1080, oh, this is doing 900. Most people from the naked eye can't tell those things.
I know.
You know?
And that's the thing. If you're going to spend your time reading forums, reading the internet, going to YouTube comments, go to websites like Digital Foundry, like to find out more about the game, like the technical side, like, the looks and everything, you're going to go crazy and you're not going to have fun, man.
I wouldn't go that far.
Personally, for me, I just don't care about that, Pete. That's the thing. Like, I just want to learn about the game, the story, the music. How is it? I don't care about the whole resolution stuff.
But see, and here's my argument towards that. You want to do everything except, you're essentially researching everything except the graphics. But so if you're saying you want everything, shouldn't resolution matter? All resolutions matter, Danny.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, Pete. No, it doesn't. That's the thing, Pete. All right, so do you think I'm spending $60 on a game based on if it's 720 or 1080p?
No.
You really actually think that?
No, but you said
do
it.
You care about that?
But you just said it yourself. You want to learn everything about it: the sound, the game, the experience, the story. But why do you?
Yeah.
But why do you ignore the resolution?
Because I don't care about the resolution. Why should I spend my time? Okay, let me go to Digital Foundry. Let me find out why the game is 720. Okay, all right, should I buy it now? Man, the game is great, but 720, I don't know. Like, really? I'm going to base on that?
So let me flip it. Let me flip the script on you here. When you go buy a car, right?
Oh my God! Now you're going to go with a car?
Hold on. Listen to the analogy first before you go crazy here. Listen to the analogy. If you go buy a car, you're going to research the hell out of that car. You're going to know whether you've got a 3.0 or 2.8 liter engine, if you've got a single turbo or what have you. Everything, you're going to research the hell out of it and get the best bang for your buck. Now, whether that means you're going to buy it on PS4,
Oh, PS1.
Yeah, no.
Wow. Okay.
PS4 Pro. If you're going to buy it on Xbox One, you're going to buy it on Xbox One S. You're going to buy it on PC because you got a 1080. You're going to get the best bang for your buck. So if you're going to research the hell out of it and get the best thing that's best for you. Now, going back to you, Danny. For you, resolution may not matter. So you're happy doing it on Xbox One. For some people, they want that extra graphical resolution. They want that next step up for fidelity of video and optics and everything else. So they're going to go on the PS4 and get it because you've got their GPU via SLI. You're going to go with an Xbox One S, which takes advantage of the bigger, better graphics. You're going to jump on the PC because you can take advantage of what a 1070 or a 1080 video card will offer and give you that 1440 to 4K experience. So yes, it may not be you, but and kudos to Juan for writing in. Thank you for writing in. I think it turned into a really good conversation on which Paris was here to join in.
Yeah, 4-3 Paris.
But yeah, as a consumer, you should be researching the hell out of everything you spend your money on. And this goes back to the conversation from last show. You shouldn't maybe buying it on day one. Maybe you should let people review it fully, completely, and not be, not trying to speed up their review or rushing through the review simply because they're trying to get that title out. They're trying to get out their review early. Let the consumer review it and get as much information as possible. Let them have the choice, but let them be the educated consumer at the same time. Hell, I'll say it right now. I bought a new car last weekend, right? I went out and I researched. I knew what I wanted. I got the car that I wanted. So, yes, I'm going to say if and it's almost like it's almost like I'm playing both sides, but a smart consumer is an educated consumer. And if you're okay, in this case, like you, Danny, you're okay playing it on Xbox One with a lower graphical fidelity or lower graphical resolution than those they might be playing it on a PS4 or on PC. That's okay. That's your choice. But I still think you should be an educated consumer and know the difference and go from there.
Again, I didn't even notice anything. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Pete.
All resolutions matter, Danny.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I wish Paris was here. Oh, you know what? Let me ask you this before we go to the next email or whatever. A couple of weeks ago, Paris was talking about Destiny. And one of the things he was talking about was, the topic was, okay, what if this game is coming out for the PC, Destiny 2? He was deciding, man, should I stay on the PlayStation 4 version or go to the PC? And one of the things I mentioned to him, Paris, you build a community. You know a lot of people that you've been experience this on the PlayStation 4. Does graphics really matter, man? Does it really matter a 4K version? Do you really, really care that much more than just playing with your friends and everything, the experience you had for a very long time on the PlayStation 4? Personally, I will stay with the PlayStation 4 version because I had a great time playing with my friends and everybody there. And hey, you know, it's great that the PC version is coming out. Hopefully, this is all rumor. It's not official yet, but like, I don't care about the whole 4K stuff. I care about the gaming experience if I'm having fun. That's the whole point I'm trying to say, Pete. I just don't care about this whole resolution. I think it's like a very, very old topic, in my opinion, an old debate. It's like, if you, the listener, really like that stuff, then go for it. Read all the blogs you want and everything. But personally, for me, less stressful. I'm just want to learn about the experience. If it is it great. Now, if it's something that the game is extremely slow, horrible controls, then yeah, I'm not gonna waste no $60. That I care about, you know. But resolution, really, everything else is great, and it's just that is 720. That's not gonna kill my experience. Come on, and that's it. That's all I have to say about it, Pete.
Welcome to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
Take it out.
You're listening to Gamertag Radio.
You want to pick an email?
Okay, so this one is from Adam. Hey guys, new listener, and I'm loving the show. I actually heard about your show while listening to the Drink Chaps. Let's make some noise! Woo! And
Yeah,
knowing you
shout out to Drink
guys had
Chaps.
that hip hop influence really piqued my interest. Shout out to Nori and DJ EFN.
Yes.
It's part of the Play.it family right there.
Yeah.
Then you guys got as excited over the new Tribe Called Quest album as my friends and I knew you guys were legit, which leads to the question of hip-hop inspired video games, for better or for worse. We had the good, like NBA Street Series, shout out to Mayday, you know, that's more fun, Miami fam right there. They were on it, and I've had games against Plex and Rec and the rest of the crew on NBA Street, and it gets heated. I will tell you that it does get heated.
Hell yeah!
It's mad heated. And the bad, like DJ Hero, I have to disagree with you.
Bad. I disagree with that, but yeah.
And plenty
I
of
love
in
DJ
between.
Hero.
The 50 Cent game, the Mark Echo game, etc. This latest console generation has given us little to nothing, though. Is this because of the music game genre dying out, drop in record sales and viable stars, or the increased cost of development? Just curious what you think, because I'd love a new NBA Street game. All the best, guys. Adam L. from St. John, NB, Canada.
Yeah, I think that the last generation, there was a lot of that. And the reason is because a lot of the companies were like, man, let's just take advantage of this. Let's test it out. Let's see if it works or not. Like, for example, the 56 game.
No,
I was gonna say 56K. I don't know why. 50 Cent, like his first game. For his first game, it was very crappy and so on, right? But then the second one came out and it got decent reviews. It wasn't that bad, but the sales just went downhill after that. You know,
Blood in the Sand or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember exactly, man. But it got really decent reviews. It wasn't that bad, man. You know, so yeah, companies, I think some of them were just experimenting to see if it was gonna sell or not. Now with the whole DJ Hero, dude, that game, that soundtrack, I love it. I think the first one was better than the second one, in my opinion, like soundtrack wise. But both were really great games. But I think when the game came out, that's when people were getting tired of the whole music genre stuff, man. Like they were just tired of the whole gaming stuff, you know. So they just want to try something else, man. Play a shooter or an RPG or something like that, But I think those are great games, man. DJ Hero, man. Years ago, I think during the PlayStation 1 days, Wu-Tang Clan also came out with a game, and they had exclusive tracks only for the game. I had a conversation with Q at GameCrate.com. Shout out to Q. We were talking about this during the last trip. I was in LA, and we were talking about that, like hip hop, video games, and he mentioned about the Wu-Tang Clan fighting game, and he said that they made exclusive tracks in there, and I'm like, man, so how can I listen to these tracks, man? Because I've never heard of it. And he's like, well, you can search on YouTube and search, and it's available there, So yeah, I just want to say that very quick, man. I mean, I think that there is also Grand Theft Auto have some great soundtrack too. You could try that out. But I'm missing the NBA Street games, man. I think they should bring that back. That was a really tight game. A lot of fun, man.
Agree. I know 2K kind of has something similar to that where you can create your own player, but I'm missing the off the wall, crazy, over exaggerated NBA Street games. Those were so much fun. I had so many. I think that's probably one of the few games where I've gotten the entire. I think I'm missing one, and the servers are off, and I can't get that 100% on that game. Yeah, I'm missing.
You almost had it.
I'm missing one achievement on that game to get 100%, and it's annoyed me because I can't. I'll never be able to 100% it simply because the one that I have is an online one. It's like a win in a certain amount of games online, and it's bad because the times that I have played, I've gotten so close, and then either I am winning or somebody disconnects and it doesn't give me the game, and it's annoying. But I remember going back to, I want to say like 2001, 2000, around there, MTV Music Generator on Sony PlayStation. I used to use that and spend hours in my room and just make music, and it was so much fun. Like you could actually take samples and upload them and use that, and it was a lot of fun. It was one of the few things that I could do. Shout out to Codemasters on that, because I think it was them that created it.
B felt like a hip hop producer, man.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm gonna make a hit.
No, I wouldn't say hip hop. No, that wasn't more hip hop for me. It was more because remember my background is more of a dance club DJ. So not dance hall, dance club. So I would do house and breaks and drum and bass stuff on there, and it was so much fun. It was great to just, for me personally, it was a relaxing experience that I could just sit back and just chill on the couch or in the bed, just make music. You know what I mean? So those are the type of things that, although it is, in 2016, I don't think it would be as successful, simply because there's so many other free tools that you could use now, or there's so many other tools that would succeed, that would make it so much easier to do on a laptop or an iPad. So I don't think 2016 is the right platform for that. And I agree with you. I think the whole insert band instrument here, hero, phenomenon has died out, which is why like Guitar Heroes and DJ Heroes, I think there was a time where those all rode that high wave, and then they just crashed down, and the follow-up wave never really came through. But yeah, it's things like that I do kind of miss. I think it was that Daft Punk track on DJ Hero was so much fun to play.
Oh yes, yeah, and DJ Shadow too.
Yeah, well, I know. Well, you've got a personal history with that song, so.
Oh yeah, that's like my favorite album of all time, man. That and Z Trip was involved with it. Yeah. I got to interview him on the podcast. You should search online. It's out there, man. But now, very quick, I know Mark Echo. He mentions Mark Echo game. Mm-hmm. That was a really decent game. It wasn't like the great. It wasn't the worst. It was decent, but the game came out at a really bad time. This is when. This game came out, I believe, for the original Xbox, but then the Xbox 360 came out, and everyone was like, why would I go back? Let me move forward, and they didn't bother to buy the game, and they just bought, a lot of people just bought the next generation Xbox 360, and they completely ignored this.
That was Getting Up, right?
Yep, Getting Up. Yep.
That game got a lot of really good reviews, though. It's not like it was a bad game. Like, I'm actually looking at it right now. On Steam, it got a 9 out of 10. GameSpot gave it 8.4 out of 10. I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean,
okay. I thought it was pretty. I thought it was like decent, like in the middle. It wasn't bad.
Well, again, these are other sites' reviews. You know, everybody else, because Game Rankings gave it. It's an average of like a 72%. Metacritic was like 70% or 70 out of 100.
Not bad,
which isn't really bad. So
it's not. Yeah.
And I think they announced back in 2013 to 2014 that there would be a sequel. Echo announced that there would be a sequel that was currently in development, but I think that may have fallen off. But hey, they had a really good soundtrack on that one. I mean, from what I can remember, B.I.G.
Rakim? Wasn't Rakim is in it too?
But that was Talib and Rakim on that track.
Yeah.
Mobb Deep. Pharoah Monch. Follow the Leader was on there, so Rakim was essentially there twice.
Okay.
Roots Maneuver.
Dude, this is a pretty decent soundtrack.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Roots Maneuver. Jane's. I'm actually looking at it right now. Fort Minor was on there.
Okay. That's dope.
Grand Wizard Theodore, one of the early ones. One of my favorite songs by one of my favorite MCs, Del the Funky Homo Sapien. Catch a Bad One.
Nice.
Love that.
Nice.
Rhyme Fest was on there. Nina Simone was on there. So hey, that's a pretty dope. That's a pretty good soundtrack right there. So
yeah.
I don't know, Adam. You may want to revisit some of these games, man.
See, I can't play it. I don't know. I gotta figure it out. Maybe let me figure it out. I would like to play that game.
So why? By the way, let's go back to this question. Yeah. Why do you think, besides the music game genre dying out, you think that's the only reason why hip hop hasn't had as much success? I don't know, Viable Stars. I may agree to that one, because I mean, all these mumble rap peoples. I don't want to hear mumble rap in my games.
No. But I forgot to mention this. Well, I was gonna mention one thing before I was gonna bring up another game. I totally forgot.
Def Jam games.
But yeah, I was gonna mention that. Now my cousin, she's married to a graffiti artist. He's a really well known graffiti artist here in Miami. His name is Abstract. He knows a lot of old school graph artists. And he was telling me that he met he travels a lot, but he met graffiti artists that they also have done work for, like Jet Set Radio, for games like The Division. He mentioned a lot of games there, man. So I was like, well, that's pretty cool, man. So hopefully in the future, I'll probably bring one artist here that I've been trying to work behind the scenes to get him here. That I wanted to get the behind the story, like how was it, like working on like certain games and stuff, you know. So that's pretty cool. Now, yeah, Pete, very quick. We forgot to mention a Def Jam Rap Star. I think that was a pretty cool game. Oh, yeah. It was so good for Pete that Pete didn't want to give me the game. He kept it for like a very long time.
I think I don't even know if I still. I think I may still have it.
No, I got it.
I gave it back to you. Okay. Yeah, like 3 years later,
dude. You didn't want to give it back. Like you were like, no. Let me try it out, dude. You were there for days.
Oh, I love that game. I love
playing that game.
It's hip hop.
Yeah, it's dope. And I mean, it had some classic like P Rock and CO Smooth, Wu Tang. Does it have Wu Tang? I can't remember if it has Wu Tang.
Yeah. It's. I want to say.
Was it Cream? Or I can't remember, man.
I think it is Cream.
Oh my god, I can't remember. It was a long time ago, man. But yeah, it was a pretty cool game. I like that game. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up, Pete.
Okay.
Wow, this is a pretty good show, man. It was only like a couple topics, and we talked forever. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, listeners, head over to gamertagradio.com. Put your comments and feedback, or go to play.it/gamertag. You can listen to our show there. And also, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, and other podcast directories. Remember to spread the word to your friends, family, everybody. Tell them about GTR.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
And yes, of course, email us. We need questions from you. Right now, November and December is coming up, and we're probably going to be releasing less show this month. We're going to take a break during the week of Thanksgiving for the month of November. Then December, the last 2 weeks, we're going to take a long vacation, B. You haven't taken a vacation like that in a very long time. So we're going to take a vacation during Christmas and also New Year's week.
Nice.
Yeah, so we'll be back sometime next year. So so send us questions so we can answer it. And of course, at the end of this year, we're gonna release the Game of the Year episode. I love recording that with Pete and Paris. It's gonna be a lot of fun, man. So Pete, anything else you wanna?
Nah, I don't have anything groundbreaking like last show or drop that Q-tip.
I know you surprised me on that one, man. So yeah, is there anything you're gonna review coming up? Any reviews?
I still need to play Mafia 3. I haven't even touched it, to be honest. Civ 6 we need to review and get out as well.
Oh my god, then the Call of Duty coming out.
Call of Duty.
Are you getting that game? You getting it?
I don't know yet. I haven't decided.
Oh. Okay.
If there's definitely going to be a game that I have to go get, it would have to be Battlefield 1. I think that game, honestly, as successful critically that everybody else, all my friends are talking about it. I have to go play it. I haven't even. It's not even. I just don't know where I'm going to play it. I don't know if I'm going to play it on PlayStation, on Xbox, or on PC. I just got to figure out who or where I'm going to play it the most, and go there.
Where your friends are playing it?
I've got 3 friends that are playing it on PC, and a lot of people playing it on Xbox One. And unfortunately, because third party doesn't do Xbox Anywhere yet. Yeah. I can't play it there. So I'd love to play it on PC so I can play with everybody on PC via Xbox, and Xbox, but I doubt that's going to be allowed or possible.
I think you should go Emerald, Paris. I mean, Pete.
Wow, you really just called me Paris.
Yeah, it's the P's. It's the P's.
I know.
No, for real. Go. I think you should go with Emerald, man.
I might, because I got friends that are playing it there, and it'll probably be. I want to play it where most of my friends play, because that's once you do the single player. I tend not to go back to single player games, but because it's the multiplayer, I gotta send out a survey to my friends, see what they're gonna do.
and there you go, guys. Pete just talked about it right there. What I talked about during the beginning of the show. Graphics doesn't matter. What matters is where my friends are
graphics
at.
matter, Danny.
Remember that, guys. Until next time. I'm out. Peace. Later.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.